What is up, guys? This is Marcus from Perspective Sports, and today we're going to talk about 5 trades that can change the NBA as we know it. And let's just go right into it. So without further ado, trade number 1, and that's Paul George to the Lakers. And in this trade, the Lakers will receive Paul George and small forward Kyle Singler in exchange for power forward Julius Randle, small forward Luol Deng, and a 2019 Lakers first round pick, lottery protected, or a 2020 Lakers second round pick. And this deal works for both teams because the Lakers land that prime time talent in Paul George to pair alongside Lonzo Ball, who's a willing passer and will be able to get Paul George the ball in spots he'll like, and LA will still have enough cap space for another max player, something they probably won't have an issue doing with a pass first point guard like Lonzo and a star like Paul George. And even if they aren't able to get a superstar player in that third max, they'll still be able to build an exceptional team around it. The Lakers also get something for Julius Randle, a player who I think they'll be moving on from after this season because they'll likely demand more than he's worth and what the Lakers are willing to pay. And as one more bonus for the Lakers, they get rid of that atrocious Luol Deng contract. But as for the Oklahoma City Thunder, they land a young talented power forward in Julius Randle to add to their roster, creating a really nice front court of Julius Randle and Steven Adams. They also get a potential Lakers first round pick, which they'll likely get because Paul George will be able to get the Lakers at least to the playoffs, even if they don't have a huge offseason and just bring back KCP and Lopez. Finally, the Thunder get Luol Deng, who can still play a little bit, and currently the Thunder are playing with Paul George, who likely won't be returning, so it'd be nice to get something for him, and a young player like Julius Randle in the first round pick would definitely be worth it. And now for our second trade, and that is Blake Griffin to the nation's capital. And in this trade, the Clippers will receive center Ian Mahinmi, small forward Kelly Oubre, power forward Markieff Morris, and a 2018 Wizards first round pick unprotected, and the Wizards will receive Blake Griffin. This trade won't be able to happen until January 15th of 2018 because of Blake Griffin's contract, but it still makes sense for both squads. For the Wizards, they made a series of mistakes with their contracts, giving Otto Porter a max, Ian Mahinmi $64 million over 4 years, etc. But they will be able to make this deal work and get rid of some of these contracts while at the same time improving their team by landing Blake Griffin, another star player to pair alongside John Wall and Bradley Beal. How Coach Brooks will make this work will be very interesting, but the Wizards will be following the Thunder and Rockets method of getting the talent first and making it work second. And as for the Clippers, they should have blown this up this offseason, but now that DeAndre Jordan wants out, your guards are banged up, Danilo Gallinari is out, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel at this current moment. They'll have to take on the Ian Mahinmi contract in order to get a mid-first round pick, talented players like Markieff Morris and Kelly Oubre. And Kelly Oubre has really come on strong this season, putting up 11 points per game, 5 rebounds per game while shooting 47% from the field and 37% from 3. And if you look at his per 36 numbers, something he'll likely play around 30 minutes and a little bit over in LA with Gallinari being injured. He's averaging 14.9 points per game and 6.9 rebounds per game per 36 minutes. And this deal benefits both teams because the Wizards get another star player that they can try to fit around their system and compete in the Eastern Conference, while the Clippers get a young player like Kelly Oubre, who we said has made big strides, and they also get Markieff Morris in a mid-late first-round pick. And if they do want to deal DeAndre Jordan, they'll be able to get some younger pieces for him and start that rebuild. And the Clippers still do have Milos Teodosic, Patrick Beverley, and Danilo Gallinari. And now let's go to the next trade, and that's back to Paul George, but this time he's going to the land. And in this trade, the Cleveland Cavaliers will receive Paul George, and the Thunder will receive shooting guard Iman Shumpert, power forward Channing Frye, and a 2018 Brooklyn Nets first-round pick unprotected. Yep, we have another Paul George trade. And let's start with why the Thunder would do this. And it's pretty much the same as before. At this rate, they're not going to retain Paul George or Melo for that matter. And they'll be able to land a Nets pick for him, which would be a huge win for the organization to find a young talented player to put alongside Westbrook or try to trade for another player to put alongside Westbrook. As for Cleveland, this is an effort to win the finals and to keep LeBron James at least for another year because according to Fox Sports 1's Chris Broussard, Paul George will be willing to stay an extra year if the Cavs were able to convince LeBron to stay an extra year. So if Cleveland can pull this off, they might get another year of LeBron, they might get another year of Isaiah Thomas and Paul George. And as for the Thunder, they get the Brooklyn Nets pick to trade for another star or to use on a young player to put alongside Westbrook. And up next, we have another Cleveland trade, and that's Boogie to Cleveland. And in this trade, the Cleveland Cavaliers will receive center DeMarcus Cousins and shooting guard E'Twaun Moore, while the New Orleans Pelicans receive center Tristan Thompson, shooting guard Iman Shumpert, and a 2018 Nets first-round pick. And This, like the Paul George trade, would be a huge risk for a huge reward because Boogie has on an expiring contract and can leave this offseason, but replacing Tristan Thompson with DeMarcus Cousins is a huge upgrade because Boogie can do everything Tristan can do, but better and more. Boogie is also the best center in the game, and pairing Boogie with LeBron, also having Isaiah Thomas and the shooters around them, would be a serious potential team to upset the Golden State Warriors in the finals. As for the New Orleans Pelicans, you get the Nets pick. A potential rebuild if you want to move on from Anthony Davis, or an opportunity to put a young star next to Anthony Davis in New Orleans to try to convince him to stay. And as for our next trade, this would be a game breaker, and that's Anthony Davis to the Boston Celtics. And in this deal, the Boston Celtics will receive Anthony Davis in exchange for Al Horford, Marcus Smart, a 2018/2019 Kings first round pick, and a 2018 Celtics first round pick unprotected. And this deal works for both teams because the Pelicans could stock up on draft picks and good players like Marcus Smart and Al Horford, who's actually having amazing seasons. They also get to part ways with injury-plagued Anthony Davis, who's never won a playoff game in his 6 seasons with the team. As for Boston, they get another young elite piece to add to their young elite core without giving up Tatum or Brown, because in all reality, Danny would just wait until Cousins left or won it out. The Pelicans would have went back into the tank. AD comes out publicly, his value plummets, and the Celtics could steal him. So this offer is very fair because they're giving the Pelicans a lot of valuable assets that can jumpstart their rebuild. But as for the Celtics, they'll now have a core of Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Anthony Davis, and a bench that can set them up to dominate for the next decade. And so as my final trade, and more of a fun one, I just combined the Cavs, Celtics, and Pelicans trade into one huge blockbuster deal with a lot of moving parts because it was really fun to see. And here's how it would look. The Celtics will receive Anthony Davis. The Pelicans will receive Al Horford, Marcus Smart, Iman Shumpert, Tristan Thompson, 2018 Nets first round pick unprotected, the Lakers/Kings pick, and a 2018 Celtics pick unprotected, and the Cavs will receive DeMarcus Cousins and E'Twaun Moore. Now, if they came out with that 3-team blockbuster trade, imagine how crazy ESPN, Fox Sports, and all the news outlets would be with the 2 top Eastern contenders making a huge trade with the New Orleans Pelicans, each for one of their superstar big men. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know which trade you think out of all of these could actually change the NBA. And if you have a trade idea, don't be afraid to leave it down in the comment section below. I look forward to seeing it. I'm out.